welcome to the Tom River Show. Pat O Melia here. You there? That's why I do this show, because you're there. Busy show. We're going to talk about a few things, but before we start off, you may notice I have a haircut. I look beautiful, don't I? I got my Leo due. Went to see my buddy Leo on Route 37. Got the Leo special, the number 3. Kind of look like a cop today. Now, I'm still a little itchy from you. Always a little itchy after you get the haircut, you know? Even if there isn't hair on you and he wraps a towel around you, you always get those itchy feeling. But I got my haircut. Leo's doing fine. We were talking about inflation, various issues in Tom's River. For that matter, he thanked me. We were talking about Leo's, probably my last haircut, or going to Leo's to get a haircut. And one of the customers were inside talking about it with Leo. So Leo thanked me for the little prop there for his business. But I do look excellent. Could have used a dress shirt today, but I'm waiting for the computer for my Lincoln, a 2007 Lincoln. The computer went. I've done all sorts of fuel work on this car. And you get on the road after it gets hot, it'll start bucking. I changed the tank, I changed the fuel pump, I changed filters, I changed sensors, and it continued to happen. So we've narrowed it down to my car guys and I to the computer. But I ordered the computer, and it said before you install the new computer, change all the spark plugs and the coil ignition packs. There's 8 of each, of course. And they're rather expensive, those. And even at my price from Buywise, and I get a really good discount, they're still around $50 or so. So I saved up the money to get that, and I finally decided I'm going to do it myself instead of bringing it to Mario or Chris. Chris at CNC in Tom's River, or Mario at Goya or in Jersey City. And I really ripped up my hands doing it because they put the ignition coils right under the fuel rails in the car. I got everything done. A little worried. Changed the plugs, changed the ignition coils, I gap plugged. Haven't done this stuff in a long time. Put the computer in, go inside, turn the key. Nothing but lights on the dashboard, no crank or anything. Yeah, really disappointed. Really disappointed. So the next day, after the huge disappointment, I'm going to recheck all my work. My wife even said, do the computer first. So I took the old computer out. I took the new computer out, put the old computer in. Car starts up, boom, boom, boom. Running really good. So I got the tune-up part perfect. But I called the company that sent me the replacement computer, and they said, I had it on the shelf for like a month or so, and it said it may have lost its programming or codes. So they're sending me another one, and hopefully I get it today. I got a little work shirt on, and I will pop that computer out and put the new one in, and hopefully that takes care of my problem. All right, we're going to break for commercial. You're watching the Tom River Show. I'll be right back. Burns Brothers Memorials, Monuments, and Markers, 787 Tunley Avenue, Jersey City. Hudson County's only monument maker, serving all faiths and cemeteries. Design, studio, and large inventory on site. Cemetery inscriptions and custom orders welcome. Burns Brothers Memorials, Monuments, and Markers, 787 Tunley Avenue, just south of Secaucus Road. Craftsmanship that will last for all eternity. Burns Brothers, Jersey City, Albert H. Hopper, North Arlington. Visit us on the net. Welcome back. Tom's River Show. Pat O Melia here. Actually, me and my friend, the timer, are getting better, but just had an issue. I actually got off track with the opening when I started talking about the Lincoln. Hopefully next week I'll tell you about the Lincoln running really good. I took it out for a while, and once it got hot, and I was running up and down 37 with it, started doing the same thing, so hopefully it is a computer. Local issue here, local news. Todd Frazier, town celebrity, a former Major League Baseball player with the Mets and the Yankees, retired from baseball this week, probably for good, but if somebody needs a third baseman and a good bat off the bench, they may reach out for Todd. Let's go, Brandon. The store is now officially open. It was on a light opening, a soft opening as they call it. It is officially open, and it's doing land office business. How long that can be sustained is questionable. How much Trump paraphernalia do people want? And if he doesn't run in 2024, what do you do with all the 2024 stuff? And Shake a ShopRite. This week, I am going to reach out for the people of Shake a ShopRite. They took over the one from the Paul Mutter family on Fisher Road. And my opinion, this is going downhill. From the carts are all over the place. They're empty shelves. Some employees aren't exactly happy, so I'm going to see if I can get an interview going with the people from Shaker. But first things first, let's get to the topics at hand, which will be costing you money, people of Toms River. But doesn't everything cost the people of Toms River money? The sheriff, now we've discussed this before. Sheriff Mastronardi, Michael Mastronardi, good cop, good sheriff. He went before the commissioners months ago and asked for a new courthouse. The courthouse that we have now in Toms River is the county seat, so you got the county courthouse, was built in the 80s, and it was built of another era of security. And it was probably built shabbily. It was probably somebody was sticking, taking money and putting it in their pocket when they built this thing. Because really, in the world of buildings, anything built in the 80s, it certainly isn't structurally deficient. It's really a fairly new building, something built in the 80s. But in the case of a courthouse, this is prior to 9/11, prior to terrorism, prior to all the security issues we run into now. We have the same situation in Jersey City with Hudson County. Hopefully Mike can show you a picture of the new county justice complex, the Guarini Justice Center. The courthouse that Jersey City and Hudson County utilized really was never intended to be a courthouse. It was modified into one. I'm born and raised in Jersey City. I don't remember the courthouse being 4 stories. I remember it being the 8 or 9 it is now. That is going to be knocked down within the next year or so as the Guarini Justice Center comes in. All of these courthouses that were built prior to 9/11, and the different security concerns and how we handle prisoners and criminals now are all different. And the courthouse in Jersey City, what we refer to as the new one, but it was built in 1966, when they're bringing in the bad guys, the prisoners, they're bringing them up the same elevator with the victims. They're in the same hallway. There's no separate way to bring in the bad guys with the innocent victim. There's a murderer. Well, the murderer's coming in the hallway with the family of the person who was murdered. So we needed a new courthouse. Ocean County, and I'm going to go with Mastronardi. Mastronardi says he needs some new digs. The courthouse is a rat trap. It's numerous problems from leakage to cracks in the walls to sewerage, whatever the problems are. If Mastronardi says we need a new building, I'm going to go with Mastronardi. So what does the people of Toms River and Ocean County get? A dumb-ass plan. The commissioners, instead of agreeing that we need a new justice complex, like they did in Jersey City, where the judges and the county of their Tom DeGeese and the commissioners, they all worked together, and it didn't happen overnight. It took a while. There had to be some donations. They had to buy a property, but they decided we were going to build a state-of-the-art justice center, all-encompassing, that will live on 100 years and still be able to serve the needs of the people, with the mindset of what security is today. Hopefully, as we go forward, our security needs will be lessened. We'll be able to deal and live in a happier world. But for now, we have to work with the security concerns that we have. Jersey City, Hudson County, they went all in. And this complex, it will do the Avengers headquarters. It will put the Avengers headquarters to shame. They would be proud of the Guarini Justice Center. This thing is going to be state-of-the-art. It will probably, when done, probably the best justice center there is in the United States. And this is what Ocean County needed to do. Look at a building that was built at another time, in a different era. And it has these structural defaults. Either it was bad construction, somebody was padding their pockets, whatever the case is. The building's in bad shape. So the Ocean County Commissioners, the wisdom of this group, so not heeding what Mastronardi is telling them, saying we need a new center, we need a new courthouse, we need a new justice center. They decide, probably without any input, because the watchers here, that's pretty much what you can call the commissioners. And by the way, yeah, they're all in their end game, these commissioners. Yeah, we're talking people, they're in their mid-70s. Some of them just got elected, and the young ones are like 74. The Watchers here, in their infinite wisdom, which they really don't have any, decided they're going to renovate this building. Now, I'm sure after there's a renovation of this rat trap, this structurally deficient building, it'll continue to be a rat trap. Just that it'll be a rat trap with a lot of bonds due to it. They're going to go out and bond. And I forget the number. I think it's something like $70 million. Or was it they said 60 and I said it will be at least 70? Probably guarantee it'll probably go more than that, probably 80. Now, Sheriff Mastinardi goes before the commissioners, who did not heed his warnings and request for an all-new courthouse justice center, has now gone before the commissioners and has asked for a new building, a new sheriff and hall of records building, where the sheriff can have everything under one roof. He can have a firing range. It's pretty much Hudson County is starting to do this. Hudson County, again, kudos to Tom DeGeese. They now have a police academy, and they're going to start consolidating a lot of the police apparatus for training under one roof. For that matter, maybe we'll show you a training video, a simulator from Hudson County, to show you what Hudson County is going to be doing. But first, let's break for a commercial. You're watching the Tom Rivers Show. I'll be right back. Consumer Carpets, 3408 Kennedy Boulevard in the Jersey City Heights, your one-stop store for residential and commercial floor treatments, carpeting, linoleum, tiles, laminates, hardwood floors, area rugs, remnants, all major brands, all in stock. Free estimates, same-day installation. Consumer Carpets, it's savings, selection, installation. Credit cards and debit cards accepted. Financing available. Consumer Carpets, price to fit your budget, installation to fit your schedule. On the net at consumercarpets.com. Consumer Carpets, Jersey City, 201-792-2712. We're back, Tom's Rivers Show. We're talking about I don't know what we're talking about. Renovating deficient courthouse and building a state-of-the-art building for the Sheriff's Department and the Hall of Records, which really, we got these two projects. One we're going to do is going to cost $70-80 million, probably more, it's all said and done. And there's a request from the sheriff saying, listen, we need to respect the Sheriff's Department and the Hall of Records. Let's build another building. Since you didn't listen to me the first time, now you're going to throw good money after bad, more than likely, and I still need the building. So now we're going to go out and build another building. Yeah, they'll get bids on it, and it will be some ridiculous price. Instead of heeding his words the first time and just building one all-encompassing building where everything could be under one roof. The sheriff's job is to protect the courts, protect the people in the courts. Let's have the sheriff department in the courthouse, where their first job is. That's how it works with all the county sheriff's department. Even though Mastinardi, again, a cop's, he's trying to branch out from just serving the courthouses and the parks, that sort of thing. I kind of agree with him. The more law enforcement you get on the street, the better off they are. But what Mastinardi is talking about is very similar to what's going on in Hudson County, where Hudson County just looked and said, listen, let's get everything under one roof. Let's have a state-of-the-art justice center. And like I was saying before, they have a police academy in Secaucus. And oddly enough, there's a firing range right down the street from the police academy in Secaucus called Longshot. And in Kearney, where they have the Janoon Center, again, Mayor Tom DeGeese, the county exec, wanted to get out of rental properties. He wanted, if he was writing checks, he was going to be writing them to himself or a bank and owning all the buildings. So during Tom DeGeese, the county exec's term, he's been there about 20-some-odd years now, I think he's out of all the rental properties. And when he got there, he was in a lot of rental properties. DeGeese has went out and purchased the Janoon Center, 830 Bergen Avenue. The very building the commission is meeting was owned by a friend of mine, Joe Panapinto. That is now owned. It took Tom 20 years, but he's pretty much all in county building. So the county of Hudson is not writing out checks anymore to landlords. They're just writing them to themselves or the bank, and there's one hell of a catalog of properties. But one of the things what Mastronardi wants to do is have the training and the firing ranges all in one building for the sheriffs. Everything in one building with the sheriff's department. We recently were down with the county of Hudson, where they have a police training simulator. Tremendous program. And the 3 guys that are running this deserve all the props. But this is the same kind of thing. Hopefully we're showing a little of that video that Mastronardi wants to do. But now, because they didn't listen to Sheriff Mastronardi, we're looking at renovating and building now another building to house the sheriff's department and a hall of records. Which you think, I'm sure the courts are going to need some of these hall of records. That's going to be down the street a couple of blocks away. And the sheriff's department is going to be down the street a couple of blocks away when they should be in the courthouse. So hopefully, and with the friggin' age of all the commissioners, you think there would be some collective wisdom of saying, instead of doing these various projects, let's all combine them. Let's look at what Tom DeGeese in Hudson County and those commissioners and the city of Jersey City has done, and we built a state-of-the-art Justice Center. But I doubt that's the case because the Ocean County commissioners have no problem writing checks with your money. So they're going to throw good money after bad into renovating this courthouse. And I'm not saying you can't renovate it, but maybe you renovate it for another purpose. Again, taking a page out of Tom DeGeese, get out of rented properties. Build a Justice Center in Toms River that'll encompass everything. And if you don't want to, bite the bullet on the 80-year-old courthouse, you can renovate that into office space or, schools, the college, whatever you want. But again, follow Mastronardi's lead and build an all-encompassing law center where the sheriffs and a hall of records, the surrogate, the courts, all that is under one roof. And since it's in Toms River, and when this all happens, Toms River residents, you get the double whammy, by the way. Not only do you have to pay off the bonds for the county of Ocean, because they're going to be floating a lot of bonds, they'll be floating. Also, the county doesn't pay property taxes. So whatever land they're going to have in Toms River, it gets off the tax rolls. That's a double whammy for you with Toms River. But since it's off the tax rolls, and I know, again, in Hudson County and Jersey City, Hudson County has tried to level the playing field, per se, for the people of Jersey City, instead of just having the county sit on property that is tax exempt because it's a government agency, government department. They've given office space, and they've worked out arrangements with the city of Jersey City, the same as there will be arrangements worked out with the city of Jersey City with the new Guarini Justice Center. For that matter, where the existing courthouse is, that'll be demoed. I'm surprised it doesn't fall over on its own, and that'll become a nice park for the people of Jersey City. Things could work together. If you're going to take up all the land to build these things and have these at the county seat, which is Toms River, have some benefit besides just having a courthouse in Toms River. Maybe what you can in this, if you listen to Mastronardi and just go out and build a whole new courthouse justice system, you could probably put the Toms River courts in there, the municipal courts, and save Toms River money that way. And now Toms River can do what they need to do with the old court space. They can make offices, they can do something with school, whatever they want. Veteran concerns, have some kind of way of reimbursing the township of Toms River for the loss of property taxes. But I don't see the logic. I don't see them listening to Mastronardi, because obviously they haven't. So this will be a boondoggle. You will throw tons of money into a courthouse that, it really needs, if it's going to be a courthouse, which it probably can't, because the same problem we have in Jersey City, there'd be just way too many renovations to make it the secure building it needs to be now, secured for the public, secured for the victims and everybody going to the courthouse. You're probably better off just building a new court facility and doing something with the old one. I just don't see that happening with the brain trust that you have sitting in on the county commission. Is probably one of the things. You don't have a visionary like we have in Hudson County with Tom DeGeese. Tom DeGeese came in to Hudson County back, I guess, Tommy, was there in 2002, 2003, became the county exec, And he had a vision. He was going to try to save the people of Hudson County money, first getting out of all of those rented properties, doing what he could to make the county of Hudson parks. There's probably no county with better park system than us, and this Guarini Center. It all worked for the benefit of the people of Hudson County. Ocean County maybe needs is a county executive, somebody with a vision like we have in Hudson County with Tom DeGeese. All right, we're going to break the commercial. You're watching the Tom's River Show. I'll be right back.
Jersey City Ford, certified parts and service located at Route 440 and Communipaw Ave, is your #1 source for Ford and Lincoln automotive needs. We use certified Ford Motorcraft products to keep your Ford running in top shape. Motorcraft parts are backed with the Ford warranty, which includes a 2-year unlimited mileage guarantee. Our team will have the right Motorcraft part to ensure the best performance from your Ford or Lincoln. You can order in person at the parts counter or online. Let us help keep your Ford or Lincoln in the best shape at Stevens Jersey City Ford.
We're back, Tom's River Show. Pat O Melia here. You there? Don't forget all the stuff on the bottom of the screens. Hey, guess what? We got our website working again. Yes, the fine people at GoDaddy, on March the 19th, they debited our account for 3 years of GoDaddy hosting services. I didn't want them to debit me for 3 years of hosting services. I wanted to debit for one. And there was a bunch of rules they had in there. And they said, well, and they also, I don't like being auto-debited. I like to be told I got to pay the bill. Anytime I did any renewals on my sites, it automatically gave GoDaddy the okay to put all my renewals on auto-renewal. Took them, at least 3 weeks to fix my website. When they issued us the refund for 2 years of hosting services, they knocked our website off the internet. And it honestly took them 3 weeks. And we just, the day before this taping, with another conversation, Jonathan and I were in the office trying to figure out what they did. GoDaddy actually admitted that they made a mistake, and in restoring our website, they didn't put all the components of the website back, so that was the problem. Took them 3 weeks to do that. I was getting to the point where I really need a website. It's got Facebook and all this other. We maintain a lot of social media. What do you say we get into the quick hits? All right, street lamp inventory and status report for Tom's River. Now, street lights are something you ride by. You really don't notice them until they're not working, which is a big thing on a lot of the highways now. You're riding along and they don't have to turn these street lights on anymore on the highways. A lot of dark roads. Parkway does that to you a lot also. They just shut the lights off because they're expensive. For that matter, the township of Tom's River pays over $1 million a year for the streetlights. Now, nobody, they're innocuous. You don't even notice those things until the bill comes in. And nobody has a real idea of how many streetlights there are in Tom's River. So after generations and generations of various administrations in Tom's River, Mayor Mohill came to the conclusion that we should have an idea because we're paying for these streetlights to be lit. So Tom's River has given a contract, I think it's about $150,000 a year, to a concern who is going to catalog all of the streetlights within Tom's River Township, and also going to note if they're working. So you're going to go around in the daytime, count them, then you're going to probably come back at night and see if they're working. And Tom's River figures, whatever they're paying, like the $150 a year to get this catalog done in the status report for all the streetlights is, when all said and done, they're figuring they're going to save around $150 plus a year, because whether that streetlight's working or not, Tom's River still pays for it. That's a pretty damn good job for the electric company. Getting money for things that aren't working, like the government. I had suggested to Mayor Hill that he look into solar lights. Now, I kind of overkilled it. My kids have a house in Seaside Heights, and there's a 2-car garage. And when the kids bought the house, we wired the garage. It wasn't wired before. And when Don was doing the wiring, we put 2 lights in the front. And it was okay, and there were 2 spotlights in the front of the garage. But then I noticed these solar street lamps. So I purchased 2 of these solar street lamps. They were like $180. And I installed them myself on the front of the garage. John's probably putting up a picture of these. Now, is it an overkill lighting-wise for a two-car garage to have 2 street lamps there? Yes. And I even have them on their lowest setting, brightness. You can go a lot brighter than that. I forget how many looms these things are. It's like 1,000 looms or whatever. If I crank it up, I get pissed off the neighbors. But at the lowest setting right now, that lights up the barbecue area and the side yard of the Army Navy store. So I'm doing my neighbor a little favor. The neighbors, give you a problem. And it's all remote too. Take the remote and just crank that baby up to as bright as it goes. Straighten out your neighbors. So I told Mo, I said, you should probably look into solar. Now, I have a lot of solar lights around the kids' house. The best solar lights I have down there are the big ones like we have on the fence. And these I put on the garage. They have a big, huge solar receiver that catch the sun rays and convert it into electricity. I told Mo, you should probably buy like 20 of these things, scatter them around the town, and see how they work. You're not paying for the electricity now. And like I said, like you can see in the picture, it throws a lot of light, and that is at its lowest setting. I strongly suggest that. Again, I did an overkill there, but it works out for us. And, when we did this, like I said, it shows the entire area there that we need to light up. Did I take a quick look? There we go. The entire lighted area there. Crickets, CDLs. I took the wrong notes with me. CDLs for 18-year-olds. There is Angela McKnight. She is a assemblywoman from Bayonne, Hudson County. She is one of the sponsors on a bill that will allow 18-year-olds to get their CDL. Before everybody goes nuts, so 18-year-olds driving 18-wheelers, there are a lot of classifications for CDL. You could still have kids. You wait 21 years if you want to do that for a CDL for an 18-wheeler. But you got dump trucks, you got school buses, you got cube vans, you got straight jobs. A lot of these don't need the Class A certification for like an 18-wheeler. But listen, you're 18-year-olds, you're an adult now. If you can join the military, you should be able to drive a bus. So I agree with that. These kids need a career. Not everybody's going out to be a doctor or a lawyer. They want a decent job, driving a bus, driving a straight job, not a bad deal. Catalytic converter theft and car theft is on the rise. This goes like every 10 years or so, these catalytic converter thefts. There's a lot of precious metals in those cats. That's why they're expensive. There is a product you can buy on Amazon that you can install on the bottom of your car. Go to the muffler shop and have them install it. Hopefully John's showing that picture. For that matter, I took the one of John's particular car. John has a Toyota Prius. The future. And whatever in Jersey City comes down to Tom's River. Jersey City is having a meeting, I think, next week concerning speed cams in Jersey City. I doubt if anybody who drives a car is interested in speed cams. That's like Big Brother is watching you. And don't forget all the corruption that occurred when we had red light cam. You put speed cams in there, you will have a lot more corruption. We have police. If somebody's speeding, give them a ticket. Parking meters are now in effect in Seaside Heights. So, make sure you bring your credit card with you because it's all the kiosks now. Beach badges are available for sale now, and you order your beach pass. You buy them early, you get a discount on that. And Seaside Heights is open for family fun. So come on down. The season is here. Next week, we're supposed to have some nice warm weather, be in the 70s. So hit the boardwalk. I'm Pat O Melia. I'll talk to you next week. Good night.